Okay, so when I open this browser now, so a component is like if a like a section doing something. For example, I can decide to make this header part a component. I can decide to make this part here a component. I can decide to make this part a component. So React makes it easy for us to build because this component, for example, if this is a component now, it is doing only one work. The next component is doing another work. The next component will be doing another work. So all we need to do is bring it together into this app.js. So in this app.js is where you now add it up together. For example, this is my header now. This is my header component. This is my user component. This is my loan history component. So each of them, they are doing different things. So inside this my header.js component now. This is it here. So the only thing this header, let me start my server first. So to start your server, you do npm start. Okay, so the only thing this my header.js is doing is I wish it could start, but my server takes time to load up. Okay, so the only thing this app.js, this my header.js is doing is that it's displaying. It has is the navigation, so it's displaying. It's doing display and everything like that. So let me quickly explain these parts. Okay, this user.js, this one contains the details of the user. This is it here. So it contains details of the user. That's the balance the person has, the name of the person, then it displays his welcome message. Then the last one, which is this loan history. So this one is the card, those cards that were displayed. When it comes up, I'll show it well. So each section, each of the components are doing one basic thing. So in this so in this my app.js now, they are all rendered separately. So we are joining it together. We are putting them together in one block in this fragment. So let me wait for my server to come up so that I can show it better.
Sorry.
Okay, so another thing I didn't touch is that so for example, when we create
Excuse me, Dayo, can you hear me, please?
yeah.
Right. Like this server you're trying to start, and is it the same server for the loan application or something?
Yes, the loan app.
Okay. Why is it taking so long to start? Is anyone experiencing similar issue? Oluwaseun online, Felix, Israel, is anyone experiencing similar issue with this delayed server loading?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. You can continue.
Okay. Okay, so when we create, for example, I created a new component called new.js, but a component is always identified with capital letter. For example, I can create new.js. With a small letter. Look at it. It's not going to accept. It's not going to be a component because components used to start with capital letter. That's what we use to identify a component. It starts with capital letter, just like user is starting with capital letter. App is starting with capital letter. So when I create a new component now and I use my snippet, it's already working. So I use rfc. Okay, rfc. Then I press enter. It has created this snippet for me. So now I want to say, okay, h1 Okay, let's say hello. Then I save it now. So and I go to my app.js. So in order to use it, in order for it to display here, I have to it has been exported already for me by default due to the snippet, the RC that I wrote. So I have to import it in my app.js first. So let me go here and say import new from wow, from then forward slash, because it's not in the same folder, with this app. It is in a folder called layout. So I go into layout, then put my forward slash again, enter new. So I have it already here. So what I'm saying is that when you create a component, you have to import it into your app.js before you can make use of it. So now I will use it here. Sorry. Okay. So I have it here already. So when I save my file, look at it. Uh, I'm having an error somewhere.
Can I see the error itself? This error element type is invalid. Can you open this 29 stack frames were collapsed? Let me just see what is okay.
I think I need to do some updates.
All right. I don't know where exactly, but it's fine. Let us go back with let us continue from where we stopped in the last class then.
Okay.
So please let me do what to take over from there. All right. So let me share my screen. Mm, all right. Please. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All
Yes, we can
right.
say it.
All right. So this was where we stopped in the last class. And the idea behind all of the things that we are seeing on our screen at the moment is that we want to be able, going by the description of the platform that we're looking at, we want a loan application window that will draw us a window as well. So, but generally we have one navigation bar, which is this loaner application, and we have a request loan profile, like the login and the sign up, or everything together on the navigation bar. So by the time we had the login logic to it, like the login and sign up should be invisible, or like should not be on the navigation bar if the user is not signed in. So now, how many of us have this similar thing working on our system? If you have something like this working on our system, just comment hi. Or like you have like a full scope of what is going on here. So please just comment I so that I can know how to move on, because I'm having issues with taking a class of 10 and just 2 persons in the class have an understanding of what is happening. So please, if you get what we are working on and you have a copy of it on your system that is working, just say hi so that we know. Okay, I've only gotten hi from line. Who else again? Okay, Oluwaseun as well is saying hi. Okay, Dio. So, okay.
I got I have a full scope of what's going on, but I remember I said that my system had an issue, so I was using one.
Yeah.
I just collected my system yesterday, but the work I did was on the Windows lab. So I'll just transfer everything I've done so far to my Mac lab to MacBook now today and tomorrow.
All right. So okay. So we have a good number of persons that get what is happening. Fine. Okay. So all right. So moving on now. What we want to see here is like there should be a modal. The idea is like when the person click on a new loan, we have a modal on the screen, and the person click on withdraw funds, we have a modal on the screen. But before we move on to that, I would like us to deal with the navigation bar first. Okay, and what I mean by that is not go into the back end of the entire thing, but let's create the login and the sign up page, as well as the routing of the application. What I mean by routing is this: like if you go to which website can we go to at the moment? Okay, let's go to node.js.org, right? So we're node.js.org at the moment. You can see this particular /en, that's a particular route. So when you click on about, you can see it adds about to the routing. Just that URL bar, pay attention to the URL bar there. Okay, if you click on downloads, you can see it moves to /downloads, get involved, /get involved. So each of these particular routes that we have, each of the specific routes that we have, there you can see it shows us different things at that particular time. So now that is exactly what we're also looking at doing here, such that when we click on the login page, it can take us to the login part of the application. And when we click on sign up, it can take us to the sign up part of the application. Then we will put all of these things together and bind it with the logic over time. But I want us to like fix this login route and sign up route. So the way to do that is, let's create inside of layout. Let me increase my phone. So let's create inside of the layout a new folder. Okay, let's call it auth or authentication. I think auth is shorter. So right inside the auth, let's create login.js, and let's create signup.js, but both of them will work on it. All right, so right inside of our login, let's just, to make it easier, let's just say this is a login screen, just to like show us how this will display. This is a login screen. And there's another thing I need to like tell us about React, that the routing that is happening on React, okay, like how it changes from get involved to downloads to about, okay, is not coming from the server. It's entirely managed by your browser. The browser you're using is the one that manages that. Everything that is going to be displayed by your browser has already been passed to your browser on the first load. That's what a single page application is all about. Okay, like other applications at the moment, for example, they don't have everything that the browser is going to like, or the various pages the website is going to use. They don't have it at the same time. But with single page applications that React allows us to create, even if your page has like 500, your website has about 500 pages, okay, all of the 500 pages can be loaded at once or loaded dynamically, but not on request. No, it's not until the user requests for that page before you load it. That is just what I want to like show you. Let me give another instance now. We have a particular, okay, we have this particular website here. All right now. So this website that you're looking at the moment, every part of this application that needs to be loaded or the pages involved has already been loaded. So when you click on this events and tickets now, it's not loading events and tickets for you again. If you look at the URL, you'll see that the URL is changing. Prior to this time, we were at marketplace. All right. The moment we clicked on events and tickets, it's changed the location to events, but you would notice that the website is not reloading because every part of the website that needs to be loaded has already been loaded at, the first. By the time you visit the website, it loads every page, such that every other page does not need to be loaded again. So that is a single page application for us. All right, so that's what we're trying to like create here now, the login and the sign up page. So we have this that shows us this is a login screen. All right, so let's go. We know where we bring all these things together inside of our app.js. So let's go inside of our app.js and let's import login from layout, and from layout we have the auth part and we have the login. Auth and we have the login. All right. So now we can easily say that we want to wrap or just put our login here directly, but that is not going to like solve what we are aiming at. That's not the way to go. So we have some things here that we need to like import from React to allow us to do that navigation. So let's import let me check our package.json if you're sure we have it installed. All right. So we don't have it installed already. So let's go inside of our CMD or terminal. All right. So you do npm install, okay, React, our React router DOM. All right, npm install React router DOM. So you can use this install like or you can use the install full version. It's both works. npm so that you can see it properly. npm install React router DOM and hit enter. So you should have it installed. Once it's installed, you will notice the changes inside of your package.json folder. So what are we trying to do here? Just to give you a brief recap, we are trying to create a login screen. This is our application at the moment, okay? And we want the user to be able to log in. For that to happen, we need a route, maybe something like our application /authentication/login. We need something like this. All right. But if we move to this location at the moment, it doesn't exist on our application. So we are trying to make that possible. And in order to make that possible, we cannot add login, like our login that we're importing here. We cannot just add it like the other components that we're importing, all right? So that's why we're trying to install a package. The name of the package is React Router DOM, all right? So it should be done in a moment. So please install it. Oluwashim, is it working at your end? Are you installing it?
Yeah, I'm just trying it out.
Okay. Okay. npm install react dash router dash DOM. Let me paste it in the group chat so that we'll get it. Yes, it will work for Mac as well. Felix, is it working for you as well? Is it installing? Mr. Felix, is it installing? Mr. Dio.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Miss Line, is it working?
It's working.
Line, is it working at your hand?
Yes, yes, it's working.
All right. Okay. We're done in no time, so please about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, we should be there.
I think mine says that I need to install a pair of Reacts, blah blah blah. I don't know.
Can you share your screen with me, please?
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, I think it has installed. Can I see your package.json, please? Your Visual Studio, can I see your package.json?
This is
Okay. Can I see the terminal again, please? Okay. Can you just move it aside a bit, just so that I can see both at the same time? The package of JSON and the terminal. Okay. So, are you sure you're in the same directory as this particular loaner application?
Let me check that out.
Can you just press the ls just to see ls or dir? Either of the two. Just run ls command and just list the directory. Yeah. So change your directory to the loaner application.
Okay. MP.
React router DOM -DOM.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think you should. That should see. That should see the light.
Okay.
Is anyone else having issues with their recording? You can see it there on line 11. Your package or JSON.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
All right.
Okay now.
So
Thank you.
is anyone else having problems? Okay, my entire node module, I deleted it. So I'm installing every package over again. So it might take a bit of time on my own end to complete. But it's just completed, Dio.
No, not yet.
Okay. What about line? It's just completed as well.
Mr. Philip, you're on mute. Your microphone is on mute.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's just okay. Yeah, I think I understand the situation. Mr. Israel.
It's really situation.
Yeah. Mr. Israel has just completed as well. Has just completed. I didn't get a response from line. Okay. Mr. Felixson is still installing as well. Uh-huh. So I suppose the Mac system has something on every one of us. I think you install this under a minute, I suppose. All right. All right. So who else has completed theirs? Mine is complete. So you can see mine on line 11 right there. I have no idea why it took years to finish the installation. Okay. Please, once you've completed yours, let me know so that I know when or how to proceed. So just comment yes. Okay, yours is installed. Mine has installed as well. Daya, what about you?
This is funny, but mine has installed though.
All right, great. Great.
Even though it's empty, there is nothing to view.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, let's move on from there. So from our app.js, let's do one thing. So import now. Let's import hash router. Import hash router from React router done. So, but another thing we can do is we can import hash router as router. So hash router is not the only person we have there. We have okay, we have browser router as well. So, but hash router, the way hash router works is more like hash router does not depend on the server to render, because it's still possible for you to build a single page application, but still requires the server side to okay the rendering of any route. But with the hash router, it doesn't work that way. It just adds. You'll see the reason why it's called hash router in a moment. All right. So right above our fragments, just place the router here, just wrap it. Don't forget it's hash router that we imported as router. What it means is that anytime I'm calling router, reference this hash router there. All right. So now, instead of directly calling our header, user, loan history, and all, so let's do one thing. Let's do one thing. Inside of our layouts, because we have to like group these things together, the header, the user, the loan history, and all, let's group it together instead of just dumping everything inside of our app.js. Okay, so let's create a folder. Let's call it components. Or let's call it main. I think main is better. All right, so our header and all of these things right here, let's move it inside of our main. All right, so we moved the header like inside of the main. Okay, so just out here, just out here, let's create a new component. Let's call it main.js. So all of our components in the main will just be a resource to the main itself. So like our RFC again, right there. And instead of directly importing our header, user, and loan history from here, let's bring them inside of our main. So we're importing them from this angle. Layout / main, and we're bringing our user. The same thing with the layout, the main, and our loan history. All right. So let's bring it in like this. Don't forget our fragment. And we have these ones inside like that, like so. All right. So now let's import our main directly now. Our main.js, that's what we're importing. And we have main like this. So now we have our main component, we have our login, etc. So like, are you getting it, please? If you're not getting it, kindly call me back. What we did was just that we removed the navigation bar, the profile, the user profile, the loan issue, we removed it directly from the app component, app.js. Then we created a main.js component for it. That it will house all of these things. So we imported the main inside the app. Instead of importing them one by one and structuring it inside of the app, we decided to structure it all in the main.js and import the main.js itself. All right, so right, so there's a bit of things we have to revise, but let's move on just to show us how it works. So now, let's call our route. Our route, which we're also going to import from React Router DOM. So go up there and import routes from React Router DOM. So our route is what we're using here now. And close it. So let's call it the exact URL that we want. It's gonna be exact. And we want the path now to be equals to our slash. Okay, and the component we want in this particular scenario is our main.js. That is what we want on the empty route, like just the empty one. So let's copy this and paste it below again. And for this one now, we want something around the auth/login. That's what we want. And what we want to render here is our login component. So if we were to save this now, and go to our application, then we have something like this. All right. So by the time we move on to our auth/login, auth/login, then we get something like this. This is a login screen. So you can see what we have here. What is being rendered in this login screen is the empty React. This is a login screen that we created. Line, are you getting it?
Yeah, I'm getting it, but I've not gotten the main.js. I really don't know the code that you wrote in there.
This is main.js.
Okay.
There's still some
Okay.
revisions I would like us to make to this particular main.js, but just to allow for this, let's.
Okay.
So I want everyone to have this working first before we make those revisions. There are some revisions I would like to make to it. So if you go back now, you can see it returns us back the loan application. If you go forward, it returns us to the login screen. Are there any other parts that any one of us is having challenges? Let me know so I can show you the specific part. Oluwaseun, are you getting it?
Yes, I'm getting it.
So you got the same result like I did just now.
No, I told I still need to bring myself up to date with my new system.
Okay.
Yeah. Today I'll get everything done.
All right. What about Felix? Daya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Are you getting the same result as well?
Okay, I didn't get the part of the routing I did in the app.js.
Can I see your work?
Okay. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
All right. So import route from.
Okay, I've done that.
No, you imported router. Now import route.
Okay.
Comma route. Just no, in the same curly braces. All right.
Okay.
So now these are the benefits of fragments. I can't be seeing your code like this and I'm seeing empty brackets. Just put fragments inside so that it looks more. You know, you also have to import the fragment itself. There.
I know. I'll do that.
So now, on line 11.
Okay.
Instead of rendering the main directly, now we are call route.
Hello, I didn't get what you said now.
Instead of rendering main directly, now remove it and call route. Route is the component we are calling now. Okay, set the exact to true. The attribute exact, set it to true. All right, you don't have to put the true. Just calling exact, it's fine. So now, what we want next is the path. P-A-T-H, the path. Okay, so the path now, what is the path that we want to look at? For the first one, which is the main component, we just want the empty slash. So path is equals to the empty slash. Just the forward, yeah, that one. All right, so another thing that we want is that, okay, at this empty path now, what do you want me to render? That's what route is asking. So then pass the component attribute.
I should pass.
The component attribute to route. Component attribute, component. Like the attribute name is component, C-O-M-P-O-N-E-N-T. Small letter, not the big one. Small letter C. No, component is enough, not component route, just component. All right, we are equating it to the component you want to render now, which in this case is the main. So your curly braces and put main inside.
Okay.
All right, so main inside that, the main component you're here, exactly. So now, then reproduce the same, copy line 11 and just double it and change the path for the login route.
Okay. So I'll change the path to this one.
Yeah, /.
Okay.
Login. Now the path that you're putting here is not the directory, it's not the file directory. Okay.
Okay.
It's just what you want to call your route. All small letters. Please. Okay.
My battery is low now, so
We'll be
maybe I
running.
should stop
So the
sharing.
class will be going. You'll be going offline.
No, I will just for a minute.
All right. Fine. Line. Can I see your screen? Thank you.
Okay, sir.
I'm coming. That's my screen, but it is saying that failed to compile. So I'm still trying to find the error. Sign up is not defined.
Please, it's not defined. Make your Visual Studio full screen. It's really not defined. Okay, on line 16, you are trying to render sign up. Sign up does not exist. Like inside this file, the sign up does not exist. See, there's one particular quote I used to tell my students prior to this time, like before taking this class. like the computer is never mad. Okay, like it's just doing what it's been instructed to do.
Yeah.
On line 16, you said render the component called sign up. And this computer is asking you, where did you define sign up for me? I can't find it.
Okay. Okay, I didn't import sign up.
Yes, you either import sign up or you remove it from the file for the moment.
I should, okay. Okay.
Okay, so don't worry, we're still going to come to that at the moment. We're still going to come to that at the moment. All right, so just go back to your Visual Studio again. The path that we're using here is not the same as the directory file or the directory. You can call it anything you want. No, the path here, the /login. It's
Yeah.
not the same as the file directory. It's just, you can call it anything. You can call it Lagos State. It will still work.
Okay. So let's see login.
Just give it /login just to like know /login. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So go back to your browser. All right. So no, just we are going to come to that button later. Just come to /login. Just write login at the last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. So you see you're getting it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So let me continue from there. Okay. So if we're all there together, there's another thing we need to do. I want us to remove this header so that this header is going to be a general component, both to the main app as well as the authentication. So inside of the layout, let's create another folder called common. All right, and let's move our header from main to common. Okay. All right, so we're moving it to common, and all right, so just save it back so that we have that. And yeah, we're back. So just move our header inside back to the common, then you just make the changes in your main.js file. So now inside of our authentication, the login, let's import our import header from common. Let's import header. All right, so as well, let's get our fragment out. And our return statement, okay, let's put it in a bracket. So fragments right there. Okay, so and let's have our header here. Okay, so if we were to save this and go to our, in my own case, auth/login, then we have something like this. Is it making sense? Felix, are you getting it? Is it making sense to you? Okay, Mr. Martins. Mr. Martins.
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, how is it going?
This is me trying so hard to follow and catch up, but seems really difficult for me right now.
Okay. Okay. I believe the recap video is going to
It's going to help, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah, so
yeah, as well as the entire next week for recap as well is going to be very much useful. So I don't know, Line, can you just go over these things that we've done today again? Are you with me, Line?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, please just go over it again. Is Dayo here with us as well? Okay, Dayo is here. So please just go over a line. Let me see.
Okay. Today we started with we wanted to we wanted to make our header. Where is it? Just give me a moment. Okay, we wanted to introduce to our application. What that means is when we click on login or sign up, it takes us to, I would say, another component. So for that to be possible, we went to our terminal and we installed React Router DOM. So we did npm install React Router DOM. And so when it installed, what we did was to come to our application, our app.js, and imported hash router as router from the React Router DOM. And we also imported routes from the React Router DOM. And then we simplified the application so that the application will not carry all the components. We opened another folder and we called it main, and we brought in, initially it was the header.js, the loan history, and the user.js. So we brought them in to the main. And then why we did this was because, like I said, we didn't want to overpopulate the app.js. And when we did that, we also had another file. Okay, so the main.js, the name of the file we created was main.js. The main.js now, I hope I'm explaining it rightly. The main.js now carries the component. Okay, the main.js carries the component, the header component, the user component, and the loan history. Now, in our app.js, in order to make our routes functional, we imported routes, yes, and then inside our fragments, we created the route component, and then we made it exact and gave it a path, and the path should be this slash. And then which component do we want this slash to display? And so we said, okay, display the main route. likewise login. So like we're told, this path can be any name, but at least it should be descriptive to show what you need it to do. So here we have our login. Our path is named login, and then we want it to display the login component. And if we come here, our login component, what we have is just, this is a login screen. So if we go to our browser, and from what we have in our routes, we say slash, the slash is already there. So we just write the name, we gave it /login. And then it takes us to the components that we told the route to display for us. And I think that's pretty much everything. What we were moving into was where you asked us to create another folder called the common. So I guess I've explained to the best of my understanding.
Yeah, fine, thank you. So, Mr. Martins,
I can hear you.
like, do you have any question possibly? You know,
Okay, what
like, I know you say you're not getting it, but just throw some questions.
And my only challenge at the moment, it's not actually what you just did. Everything you did, I followed through, okay? But then the part I'm trying to connect is the gaps I missed from last week. So I'm trying to like understand the whole of how the React is doing the stuff it does. That's where I've not gotten yet. I think I'll get it as I continue. Lean did a great job. Thank you, Lean.
All right. Oluwaseun, is it flowing?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Taiwo, if you have any question as well, please feel free to message me directly.
Well done.
Okay, so let's move on. All right. So based on what Line was trying to do the right time by clicking on the login and it wasn't working. So what we can do in that regards is to go into our header, all right, and we go into our header, and let's take advantage of the React Router DOM as well. React Router DOM. So what exactly is this React Router DOM? React Router DOM is this guy that provides us with the routing document object model. These are, the elements or nodes that allows us to like navigate through a React application. So you can see something like the route itself, that one allows us to like move from, one screen to another, okay, without much, without much happening. So there's another part of the things that I think I missed. I think we should add at the moment, which is right inside of our app.js, we should import our switch statement. So switch, then inside of this fragment, we have our switch statement there. So the switch allows for like easier routing and prevents errors that might result from navigation. All right. So the switch, don't forget, we are importing the switch from React Router DOM as well, and we are, wrapping it around all of our routes, So like it allows for switching between all of these routes, like usability. That's just what we're looking at there. So back to our header.js. back to our header.js, like, so let's import our link. So link works like more like an anchor tag. All right, that's the way the link works, like an anchor tag. So, and let's wrap it around our button. However, still we can call this button, this login button, let's call it link directly. Let's change it to link. Okay, and let's call it link. Let's give it a class name like that. And so we have it too. We don't need it. We do not need a type for a link tag. So to means that which directory or which URL do you want me to redirect this user to? So we have the auth/login in my own case. So it should follow your situation as well. So now we have our login right here. And if we click on my login, you can see it redirects me to the auth/login, the same thing there. So tap login, it takes us to the login page. So the component responsible for that change is our link that we are importing from the React router DOM. So this is it right here, the link. So I changed the button here to link component, and while retaining the class names, okay, and adding the attribute too. So in that too, we specify the link, the name or the path to that particular URL. Okay. Are you getting the same result, Dio? Luashim, are you getting the same result as well?
I should get the same results when I'm done.
Oh, okay. Okay. Who else is there? Line, are you getting the same result? Mr. Israel. All right. So let's move on. So right inside of login, let's give it a class name of container. Let's give it a margin top for a while, and have a form. So inside of this form, let's have it that says login h3, and let's give it a class name of text center. That helps us centralize it. And so let's save. So we're working on this page at the moment. All right. So that's what we have. Let me split it into two so that we can see both at the same time. Okay, so we have our login there, and let's have a div class name of form group, and inside of this, let's have a label that says phone number, and we have our inputs. Our inputs, which is a type of text, and a placeholder of enter phone number. All right, and given a class name of form control. So if we save that, we have something like this. Okay. All right. So let's duplicate this and let's have it as password, and the type as well as password. We can have this as enter password as well. Class names of form control, and let's see. Now we have something like this as well. Let's have a button of type submit, and we have login. Let's give it a class name of btn and btn btn primary. Let's give it a bit class name of btn. Alright, that's all I want to give it success. Alright, and I'm thinking the block one is better. All right, so we have something like this on the login screen. So, all right, but the width is too long, so let's give it, let's wrap it inside another div, this container. So, class name of column SM, let's give it 6. All right. Sorry. All right, so we have this, and let's give it an offset of 3. All right, so we have something like this. So don't worry about this header. We are going to like make the content dynamic very soon, such that if the user is logged in, it's going to show something different. If the user is not logged in, it's going to show something else. But this is what we have at the moment. And beneath the login, we can have something here, like a key tag that says forgot password. You know, click here. And we can just wrap this in an A tag. An A tag is an anchor tag that contains a URL. But at the moment, let's just give it. So we have something like this. But let's just centralize it by giving it a class name of text center. All right. Dio, is it flowing? Line, is it flowing?
Yes, sir. But
Yeah.
sir, can you please paste the code maybe on the chat? This CSS you did now.
Okay. I can just have the entire thing pasted on the channel.
I have error.
Okay. One moment, please. Yeah, so I'm posting it to everyone in the group as well. So please share your error with me.
Okay. Assets. Yeah, I think it's coming from the header. I have no idea what I did there. It's coming from, I think, when I added this to the button, it started throwing that error.
Can
Are
you
you seeing
remove
my
the type?
screen?
Yes, can you remove the type submit?
Okay. Still there. The error is still there.
Okay, let me see again. Make a full screen, please. Let's scroll up. Trying to see where the problem exactly might be from. Okay, you're trying to import link from React. Link is from
React
link.
router.
Yes, it's from React router DOM, please. You cannot import React from React router DOM.
Okay.
All right, let's.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Then let's check. Let's check our. Is the routing working now? Let me see.
The routing.
The login. Click on the login. All right.
Okay, it works. All right.
So I posted the login code in the
Okay.
group chat. So just. So I'll push the code to GitHub soon, but I want to also like just put and finish up with the sign up page because the sign up is very much similar to the login. All right. So so underneath the inside of the login, you can have another new which is popular these days. the copyright something, so we can just call it tech bridge MA TC quad what do we call it?
I see your screen, sir.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen.
I don't know if it applies to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing that. Thank you. All right, so you can just add this copyright, whatever. For the 2020. Sorry, my naming is just can be somehow at times, like G1. So, I mean, yeah, all right. So we can just centralize this as well with the class name text center. All right, so we have something like this. So let's work on the sign up page. But there's one thing I would love to do with this particular form, which is to give it a card body, and a bit of shadow. All right, so we have something like this. All right, let me just pass in a gist at the moment. Like the real problem out there is actually not building a software. The real problem is building something that people are going to use. All right, there are a lot of softwares out there that are just wasting away, that people are not using or people don't know about. So for some of us that are, coming to like learn how to program, because you want to like build a product, or because you want to like sell, you want to create a startup and all of that, you want to like be that technical person. Another important skill set that is, cannot be overemphasized is, being able to like market your solution. All right. I don't know what the strategy might be, but it's an important part of the process. All right. I very much think that, I'm not trying to downgrade, a marketing person or a software engineer, but I think a marketer or like salespeople in any organization is as important as the technical persons. Of course, like maybe a lot of persons in Nigeria do not recognize it, and that's why they pay salespeople less at the moment. But I think a big shift is coming that, ability to market software will be as important as being able to like build the software yourself. Like, because the skill is highly, highly needed. That's just by the way. So everything we have inside of the login we'll be needing most of it inside of the sign up. So like that. So I'll be copying most of it. Okay. Inside of the sign up, we still have to import fragment as well as import header. Almost actually, all right. So in order to link this up, we also have to go to our, but let's change this to sign up just so that we can see the difference. Sign up. Okay, so let's go into our app.js and let's import our sign up as well. Sign up. All right, so, and this will be a sign up component. And let's give this out the register. Let's prepare register for this case. So inside of our header now, so like the sign up is the same as a login, just change the route and the component name as well as then import it as well. So inside of our header, we just need to change this button to link. All right, retain the class names. We don't need the type submit, but we need the path name, which we want, in my case, auth/register. All right, so if we save this and come back here now and then click on sign up, you can see it takes us to the sign up page. Click on login, it takes us to the login page. All right, so to instance, the main things that we want here on the sign up page is the phone numbers, full name, date of birth, state, email. At the moment, the steps are not so much. Like it's just 5 things that are needed. 5 or 6, yeah, 6 of them. So usually it's becoming a practice these days. I don't know if you've noticed as well, but most of the sign up forms, like you would see nowadays, are not long forms anymore. They tend to, like, break them down into small steps, like maybe 2-3 steps, and you click next. You move to the next one, you click next again, you move to the other one. So I mean, those people doing research said that it's more user friendly than users saying like 52 million forms, parts to fill, so they can get scared and just run away from the site. So that's why they are trying to like incorporate like maybe 2-3 steps, then you move to the next, then you move to the next, you move to the next, like so. But yeah, to add that in, we're going to create 2 steps form for our sign up screen, where the phone numbers, full name and password, and confirm passwords are going to be together, while the date of birth, state, and email are going to be together as well. All right, so we're inside of our sign up. So let's get the first things out for us. So we want the phone number, full name, and password. All right. So phone number, full name. Change the placeholder to full name. Just edit the existing things that we have there. All right. Password, and we also have a confirm password. I'll be pushing this to Git from here so that we all have the same copy. All right. Because there are some tricky things that might come in from here. Password, and let's call this next. confirm password. So we have something like this. One moment, please. All right, so this is what we have on the sign up page. So we have the next button. So this next button will take us to the next step, and from there to the next step as well. So but I'll do well to push what we have at the moment to GitHub so that everyone has a copy. So I'll do so from here. All right, let's git hacked. It's commits. Extending routes. Creation of authentication pages. That's my comments. All right, so and let's git push to origin master. All right. So I've just pushed it to GitHub so like everyone can have a copy. Yeah, so everyone can have a copy of it. You just git clone, and let's do that before we move on. That's for people that do not have a similar copy to what we have at the moment. So just clone it so that we can move on. Is it making sense? Line, Dio, Oluwaseun, Martins.
Yes.
Yes.
Feels like I'm alone.
No, it's making sense. I'm following.
All right, thank you. So right inside of our sign up page, like I said, since we're dealing with multiple steps form, yeah, Okay. I don't know. I'm really feeling somehow moving on because some persons are actually not uh, on the same level with us. The reason is because this particular application, the idea is so that it can allow for, you know, like an understanding of how the application works, both from the front end to the back end of the class. And the further it is that we go, like the more difficult like it will, you know, be for some persons. Like even though like the recap classes might be there, but you know, the ability to ask real-time questions, I feel like it's also important, because I also want to like move into things like, you know, states, like advanced states management now. And you know, I would like everyone to actually be on the same pace or on the same level before we begin to like touch those things. So I don't know how we intend to like, you know, just do this together. Like I'm feeling like it's a bit strange to, you know, just keep pushing the limit, and I have people in the class that are not even, you know, they're just watching. All right. I mean, people are not even here. Emmanuel is not here. The two Emmanuels, and it's really worrisome. What do you guys think? The class will get more advanced.
Well, yes, definitely the class will get more advanced, but the challenge is folks need to bring themselves up to date with what they are yet to know, and everybody just needs to be on the same level so we can advance all together. If that is not done, it will still continue this way. Some folks will still be lagging behind, while others who must have moved ahead, and we still keep on going back and forth the same challenge we've got in the past.
Okay.
Until everyone is on the same level, this might still continue to repeat itself.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me ask a question. Like, Line, do you understand the naming of my classes and what they do here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Daya, what about you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try. Let's push on. So, where we are at the moment now, we need to see how we can manage the states. What I mean by that is how to proceed to the next step here. Don't forget, we are not adding any back end to it at the moment. We are still going to couple the back end with it, but we're just trying to like create the flow of how the application is going to be. Then, you know, that would guide us on how the back end is going to work as well. All right, so we have this first step. The next step we're looking at is date of birth, the state, and the email. All right, so let's create. So we're going to come up here and let's import from React use state. Don't forget, use state is just is enables us to like store the values of variables or data that is available on the component that is being shown on the screen. All right, so let's have something here. Let's call it registration stage. Okay, now let's have something that's called set registration stage. All right, and there's a comma there. So use state, and we're giving it the default value of 1. All right. Okay, so now what we want to do with this registration stage is that we want to like render based on what this step is showing to us. So now this particular render, or let's come here, let's create a function. Let's call it render registration stage. All right. All right. So let's call our switch statement, and let's call it. We're passing it to.
Sorry, excuse me, sir. You might need to check your line.
My line.
Your line 7. Getting the registration.
Oh, okay. Registration. All right. Thank you. So let's pass our registration stage to it. Well, so let's just leave it like that. So let's have our switch and registration stage right here. Okay. And we're trying to create a case for it now. So in the case of 1, if the registration stage is at value 1, if it equals to 1, do something for us. All right, return this form. So this entire form right here just copy it out and remove it like that and paste it here. Okay, do not worry. All right, so that is what we have. And inside of our div right here, so let's call our render registration stage directly. Let's save, and you see we have something, it's the same at the moment. Is it making sense to us? Now, instead of rendering it directly at this point, like instead of writing the form inside this div here, we decided to wrap it inside a function that is dependent on the stage of that registration number. Okay, so if the registration stage, all right, is equals to 1, do this. That is what we're saying. So now we also have to come down, okay, to case 2. What happens if the registration is in 2? So do something for us. Render something else. Render something else for us. So in this case as well, we still want to render a form, but the form that we're rendering now is different because what we need is the date of birth, the date of birth, we want the state of origin, state of residence, and email address. So we can delete others and let's just edit that. Okay. So date of birth, let's remove the placeholder. Type is equals to date, and state of residence. Let's give it a select with option. Select state. Further option of let's have there it goes right here. Oh no, let's have it there. And just for a start, let's just have those three there. So let's not forget our class name of form control. All right, so we have our email here. So let's give it a type of email, and placeholder is enter valid mail address. So let's save. So you can see that the new form that we just created is not reflecting in this application at the moment. It's not showing anywhere. All right, so let's do something. Let's create another function. Let's call it Opera still. Let's do it this way. Our next button here, we have, let's add an on-click button to it. On-click event rather. All right, do something for us. On-click, set registration stage to 2. So let's save. All right. If we click next, you can see the form is changing. Why is it changing? It's changing because we are setting the registration stage to 2 on click of that button. When that button is being clicked, change it to the next stage. Now, inside the other form that we have here, let's create 2 buttons. So just copy that and let's paste it here. And let's have this as previous. Okay. And this goes to 1. All right. Let's have another one that shows next. And previous. All right. So previous and next. Let's remove this for now. All right. So we have something like this at the moment. So name of text center. And let's give this a margin right or margin left 2. So we have something like this. When you click previous, it goes back. When you click next, it goes forward. Is that making sense to anyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So like what is displayed on the screen now? What is displayed on the screen is entirely dependent on this registration stage that is being set by the button that the user is clicking. All right. So once the user, do not bother, because at the moment we're not adding any condition or any logic to that decision. Okay, over time we're going to add conditional statement that is going to prevent the user from moving forward without unless the user fills the form required parameter. So, but at the moment it's just to like show us how the flow is going to work. The user clicks on next, it takes the person to the date of birth, stage, select your state of residence, and fill in um, your valid email address. All right. If you want to correct anything, you can go back to the previous state, to the previous stage and register. So then we also need our next as well. So what would this next be about? Okay. So let's say this next can be, okay, let's have a case 3. Okay, I don't think we need a case 3. Yeah. All right. Okay, previous, and let's have, instead of next here, let's have complete. Or let's have create account. I don't know how that's gonna look. All right, so we have something like this. Previous and create your account. So, and this is where the user account is going to be created. So the moment the user account is created, possibly the user can be redirected to the login page where they will have to like enter their phone number and their password, and they can log in. And once the user logs in, then they can be redirected to their to the home page of the application with their name being displayed here. Does it make sense to you, Dio, as well? Mr. Martins? Line, is it making sense?
It is, but you're a little fast. So I think when we get to look at the code, we would grab it more.
Call me back on any part.
From the switch statements though was where I get everything you described or you explained, and what how the how would I call it, the function of the switch statements. And I get that. It's just following up on the code that I couldn't.
Okay. What about Luashon? How's it going?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right. No, okay, what else do I have there? Mr. Martins, how is it going?
This part I'm understanding now. My server is not starting. I don't know what to do.
No, it will start. It might take a while, but it will start. I think.
No, it's giving me an error.
Oh, what is the error? What's the statement?
Okay, let me see if I can read it. Hold on, please. He's saying exit status 1, React script start is not recognized as an internal command, whatever, failed at the loaner at 0.10 start script. This is probably not a problem with NPM.
Can you share it with me?
Yeah, I think I can. That's it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can. Okay. So what you should do first, let me see your package.json. All right. So just run npm install. npm install, yeah. This way install the missing libraries that you do not have.
Okay.
All right. So once that is complete, you should be able to like run it safely.
I don't get it. Now, these libraries that are being installed, are they all being installed in this particular Loaner app front end folder?
Yes.
So every time I create a new React app, I have to do this.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Israel, how's it going? Okay. Mr. Israel is not here. Oh, all right. Well, watching, you said you don't have your system there with you. I would have loved you to explain what we've done. Line, please try and explain to us again.
I missed some part of it though.
Don't worry, just explain. And another way to understand better is even by explaining what you're doing.
Okay. I'm coming. So
You do not have the sign-up form.
I don't. That's why I got lost after the switch case, the first case. And by the way, let me show you my web browser. This is what it is showing me. It's showing me 1 instead of returning what it was asked to return.
Okay, let's see the reason why it's showing you 1, because the computer just does what it's been requested to do. Let's see.
Okay. So this is it.
I'm not saying that it's not coming up.
You're not seeing it.
Yes, I'm just saying your desktop.
You're
Like
just
with
seeing
desktop, not on your screen, only your desktop.
only my desktop. Are you kidding? Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know what's happening. All right, so this is my code. Let me bring this guy. Okay. So this is my web browser.
All right.
That's option, and here's my code.
Can you scroll down? Let me see.
Come in.
Okay. Now registration stage.
Yeah.
Registration stage is 1. Do you remember? Line
Yes.
50. Let's go up.
Yes.
Let's go up. On line 6, we defined registration stage and we called it 1.
Yes.
Set registration stage that is sitting next to the registration stage is used for what?
It's used to set a new registration stage.
Yeah, that's correct. Hold on. So now, on line 50 back down there, you are calling registration stage, which the value at the moment is 1. That's why you're saying 1 there. Yeah. So what you're supposed to call is the function that we created up there, which is render.
Render registration.
Yes.
Okay. Render registration.
And when you call a function, you have to add the, yeah, exactly. So let's save and let's go back, and you have it there.
Okay. So,
All right, I'll post my own work on the channel, so on the Slack channel, so you can just copy and save it.
okay.
But I want you to explain with what you have. Mr. Martins, is the server starting now?
It's still installing,
All right,
extracting though.
So I've sent it to the group chat line. So just copy and save that inside of your sign up folder, and let's.
Um, Am I to, okay, that's the case 1. This is the case 1. I think I have this.
I think it would be easier for you to just paste the entire thing in the file itself and just save. It should work. The only thing I might have a problem with is if Visual Studio is not formatting. If it's not formatting your.
It is. But this is not complete here. This code is not complete. It's only showing me case 1, and where it stops is at confirm password.
Okay, that is where the chat stopped it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I get it. So let's do it this way. I would make that available on the Slack channel. Is it possible? Do you have it opened?
Yes, I can access it.
All right, so, and all right, so you can see it there. Now, I think there's an option to copy there. Just click on the option, like this menu option. There's this,
Here.
yeah. Copy. Oh, it's not there. So just copy. Just highlight it.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so what we did from where we stopped,
What we did inside the React DOM routing
yes,
and the sign up page, most especially the use states and all.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, from the use states, right? Um, I don't know how to explain this, but from the use states, what we're trying to do here. Let me show you my browser. Is to display the user is trying to sign up here now, and we don't want to permission on the first page. So what happens is when we click on next, it takes the user to the next sign up page. So what we did is to introduce use states. We introduced use states, created a function that is going to display the first sign up page, and that is we gave it a condition, a switch statement, saying that if registration stage is 1,
Go on, you're doing well.
if registration stage is 1, it should return this particular form. And if it is 2, it should return this particular form, the second form. And what we did was to wrap our button with the function. We wrapped our button, the next button with our function, and gave it the argument of 2. That 2 is to tell you that, okay, move to the next form, or return the next form input. And we also, on the second form, we created 2 buttons. One is to create an account, and the other is to return to the previous sign up form. Now we still also gave it a function, the same function, but the argument passed in here is 1. So we're setting the form back to, it should render the first form that was initially displayed. I hope people are understanding what I'm saying. So the on-click button, the button is to I don't know how else to explain it, but the button here
Just explain it the
carries.
way you understand it.
Okay. Let me start afresh. Let me go back to the web page. what we're trying to achieve here is we don't want to bug a user with so much details here. We want it to be like a process, a short process where you're trying to catch the user's attention. So once a user clicks, enters his details here, once he clicks on next, it takes the user to another section of the sign up. So in order to achieve that, what we did was to, yes, we have our form, but our form is in two parts. The first part carries the phone number, the full name, the password, and the confirm password. And what we did here was to declare use state. And as usual, use state carries from what we have here, use state carries registration stage, and we have to set registration stage to a new stage. So in our form here, we have registration stage to be set to 1, and then we created a function, and we gave in our function we have a condition, and we're telling the condition if the case is 1, return the first part of our form, of our sign-up form. Return the first part of our sign-up form. And once the user clicks on next, return the second part of our sign-up form. So what we did to make it possible was on our click button, we gave it the function, and our function carries the argument of 2. So that 2 indicates that once the user clicks on next, take the user to the next part of our form. And
that's
on the
fine.
next, okay.
I mean, you're trying. Do not underestimate the power of like explaining what you have inside of your head. Like it can, like talking about it is as good as thinking about it. You get like,
Yeah.
so like the more you talk about it, like it provides clarity. Like you just be understanding what you're doing more. Okay, and that's why I encourage us to Dayo, Oluwaseun, okay, explain this particular what do you, it's not like I don't know what you're saying, or I don't know that you know what you're saying, but by telling others, okay, you
Yeah.
yourself, you gain more clarity about how that stuff works.
Okay.
So well
Thank you.
done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, is it making sense to us over there? Like okay, Felix is back. I think he hasn't been around for a while.
Yes, yes, I had internet issues and I had to.
All right. Taiwo as well. Like he has been quiet, but Taiwo has been around, but he has been quiet for a while. Is it making sense, Taiwo?
Yes, I'm trying to get what you're saying. I'm still available.
All right. All right. Hold on. Okay. So let me just I think it makes sense to wrap up our class here, but let me just buttress, excuse me please, let me just buttress some points before we end it. Let me share my screen. I sent an image to the group just now, the Slack channel, and this was what I sent. All right, can we all see it? When does React render? So React renders, number one, when the state changes. What do we mean by when the state change? Look at this particular example that we have right here. We have a state property, okay, that is called registration stage. Every single time that registration stage changes from 1 to 2, from 2 to 1, from 1 to 4, from like in as much as there's a change that is happening to any of the state variables, React re-renders. Okay, uh, that's why when I click on next, something new appears, because by default the entire state re-renders all over again. And now when it's mounting that, when it's re-rendering now, the previous value that was at 1 has now changed to 2. So it won't show to us what we had there before. To show to us, the new form that matches the case 2 of our function. Another season when React renders is when a prop changes. Okay, I've not taught us, props, so we'll touch that properly, like in no time, very soon as well. They are very closely related to. They're very closely related to state. So when a parent renders, what this means is this. Look at the situation whereby we have main, all right, on the screen. Inside of main, we have the header, we have user, we have the loan history. Okay, the parent component is the main.js. The child component in this case is the header.js, user.js, and loan history.js. So if the main.js re-renders, okay, the child component as well, okay, adjusts. Does that make sense to anyone? Can I get your yes, please? Is it making sense? Please say yes. All right. Dayo, you're welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the scenarios where the React components renders. So when this context changes as well, we'll touch it. We'll touch it as well, like explain this React context and how to like use it. So I said we're gonna I'm gonna go into props later, like because they are also closely related to the state as well as this context change. But for now, we understand how the state change works and what we mean by when the parent renders. Okay. Back to our signup.js. This part is really important. On line 5, what is happening? We created a variable called registration stage. Then we created another variable called set registration stage. All right, and both of them are derive their power or their relevance from a React hook called use state. That is just the name, hooks, that's what they call it. A React hook called use state. So this use state, okay, is the one that sets the default value of registration stage for the first time. Okay, so inside of the use state one that is there, it means that the value of registration stage initially is going to be 1. If we pass null to this place now, what it means that the default value of registration stage is going to be null. If we pass in an empty string, it means that the default value is going to be an empty string. Okay. Now, the set registration stage is used for manipulation of registration stage. What I mean is that this second variable name here, which is a function, is used for the manipulation of the former, which is called this registration stage here. So inside of our onClick button here on line 34, when we click on next, all right, we are calling the set registration stage, all right, which is used for the manipulation of registration stage value. And we are now passing in an argument of 2, meaning that updates the value of registration stage from 1 that it is originally. Now place it to 2. So given the fact that when the state changes, when the state of any React component changes, there is a re-render. Okay, what that means for us is that inside of this return statement, there's a re-rendering. So now it's trying to show this thing again. In the quest to show this particular div here, remember that we passed in a dynamic content here. So it calls render registration stage, which is a function that we defined here. A function that always looks at the value of registration stage. Now remember that on clicking of next, registration stage has been, the value has increased from 1 to 2. Okay, that means the switch statement now, the case 1 will no longer work. It won't be invalid. It will be not useful. Then the case 2 would be the case that we're dealing with. So that is why when I click on next, it takes me to the second form stage. When I click on previous, it takes me back to the stage 1. All right. Why that is happening is because of the re-rendering of the React state, of the React component, as well as the increment of that registration stage value. So that is just what I wanted to buttress more before we wrap up the class today. So I don't know if anyone else has any questions to ask about what we've done today. Anyone?
I have a question, but it's not about what we did today.
All right, please.
It's about the JavaScript splice. I wanted to ask if we can, if it works for only arrays, that JavaScript splice, if we can use it for maybe objects or functions or other elements.
Okay. What exactly are you trying to do?
Like deleting in an array, to delete some elements in an array.
So this is our splice right here. Okay.
Okay.
So
okay.
this splice makes changes to the original array itself. All right. So, but note that when you're using splice does not return a new array. It's that particular element in the array that you're trying to change that is going to return to you. What it means is that if you are trying to remove, in this case now, if you are trying to remove mango from the list using splice will not return to you the new list of banana, orange, and apple. It's going to return to you mango.
Okay, I understand now.
You get. So now, like based on the change that you need, or like based on what you want to do, or like your specific need, like the array method that you're going to use should be dependent on that need. All right, so like there are a lot of use cases that might come up, but your array method should be dependent on what works best at that particular moment.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Do we have any other question in the house?
That's all.
All right. So I think we can do well to like end the class on this note, and we'll continue from there tomorrow. So thank you all for joining, and I will do well to make the video available as soon as possible. I know there are some times that I I lag in updating or uploading the videos to the channel, but like I'll do so as soon as possible. So thank you all, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you all in the next.